again. This is Christine with Amelie Designs and my daughter Katie, who's behind the camera. And we're going to show you how to do some variations on our free pattern, the multi-purpose pouch, so you can design your own pouch. So here we go. First of all, the one we did, the one that the pattern is written for is straight up and down stripes with a zipper on top, fully lined. So the complete instructions are on to how to make that are on our prior video. But let's say you don't really want your strips to go up and down. Let's say you want them to go more sideways. Let's say you want to make it a different size. You don't like this size. That's okay with me. So here I took 3 strips, 2.5-inch strips, and sewed them together with a 1/4-inch seam. And I did it twice. Actually, I did one long and I cut it in half. And then I sewed the 2 halves together. So this is going to be my bottom now. As you can see how that's going to look, it's going to be my bottom. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with my zipper. I would lay my zipper just like I did in the other one. Lay my zipper on top, sew it down, bring that over, just like it was in the last video. But I want to show you something cool that you can do with your zipper. Sometimes you will see a pattern that has, like my nail salon pattern, where the zipper, there's a little bit of fabric at the beginning of the zipper and at the end of the zipper. It just makes it more a nice finished look as opposed to this where we don't have any fabric here or here. So I'm going to show you how to get that nice finished look. What you do first is you take one of your strips, and that's 2.5 inches, and you're going to fold it in half, take it to your ironing board, press it, open it back up, and then you're going to press the middle, each of the edges into the middle. And I do this in stages. I do one side, then I turn it around, and I do the other side because I don't like to burn my fingers. And then you're going to press it again in half. So when you're done, it's going to end up looking like this. Here's the full strip, it folds in, and it folds in again. Okay? Now, I need this zipper to be pretty long because I've got it pretty wide. Actually, this is a little bit too wide for my zipper. No problem. I'm going to cut 1 inch off of this real quick. And maybe I'll cut 1.5 inches because I want this a little bit more narrow anyway. No problem. Oop. Okay. Now my zipper is extending past here pretty well, so I can play a little bit more with it. I'm going to unzip my zipper a little bit, and I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to show you what you need to do with your zipper and with this section right here. So join me over there. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to have thread that's going to match your little accent strip. You want to have just your regular presser foot on, and I'm going to bring my zipper, I'm unzipping it a bit. And you don't want to unzip it too far, just a little bit, and I'm going to slide it under here. And again, you can only do this with a nylon zipper, don't try this with a steel zipper. And I'm going to put the 2 edges together like they're closed, and I'm just going to sew across it. I'm going to hit my backward button, and I'm going to sew backward, and then forward. I'm going to do this a couple times just to really lock that in place. Alright, backwards. Trim that off. So what we've done with the stitching is we've just imitated this little lock thing up here, this little metal lock thing. And I'm going to just go ahead and trim that real close to the stitch line with my scissors, Okay. Now I'm going to put that over, and I'm just going to edge stitch right along the edge.
Oh, that's clever.
Clever. Yes. Now sometimes it's hard to get right up at the edge, so if you're having trouble getting up to the edge, I'm going to move my needle over because it's just so much easier when I do that. Let's move it back a little bit. Oops, I'm still going backwards. So I usually sew a little bit, and then I sink my needle down, lift my presser foot. This is a little tip, and then I just kind of slide it back down in there. And then lower my presser foot and continue sewing. You don't need to back stitch or anything because all that's going to be sewn into a seam. Okay. And I'm going to trim that even with my zipper. Oh, I got a cute little tab now. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to measure to make sure you get the exact measurement. So we're going to go back to the cutting table. Sorry, Katie. Okay, so this is the edge where my zipper is going to be. I'm just going to lay it across. I'm going to take my disappearing blue ink pen. I'm going to draw a line right there on the edge, and that is where I am going to lock stitch. I'm going to sew again, just like I did before. I'm going to sew right on that blue line, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, so now my zipper is the same size, and I'm going to do just like I did in the last video. I'm going to lay it down right side, unzip it, stitch it down in place. When I stitch to about right here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to zip up the zipper to get it out of the way, and I'm going to continue sewing the zipper down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Let's go over to the machine, and I'll show you how I do that. This time I didn't pin it all in place because I'm going to be zipping and unzipping, but I did put my 1/4 inch foot on, and I did go ahead and move my needle back to center position. I start at the edge, get that pin out of the way, I hold those threads back just a little bit, sew it down, stop, and I'm going to unzip it a little bit and go a little bit further. Now I'm going to stop, sink my needle, lift the presser foot up, zip that zipper back up into place. Sometimes you have to turn it sideways, and now it's out of my way. I can continue to sew it down. Okay, there's one side, and then you do that to the other side just like we did in the other instructions. Okay. So one more variation, I wanted to create a little multi-purpose pouch that had more of a look like this with a band. You could use ribbon up here, and I wanted to do a little bit of cross-hatching quilting. Same thing, I just took a strip here, sewed it to a big piece of fabric, and fold it in half, and you just go through the same process like you did in the other with the first multi-purpose pouch. And there you have it. A bunch of different multi-purpose pouches, all different looks, all different styles. Have fun! Send me photos!